Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this live stream, we are going to be doing our post-match review for the match that we just witnessed between South Africa and the British and Irish Lions. As you can see here, the end score was 19 points to 16, which means South Africa, for the first time since 1989, a side who lost the first match of a British and Irish Lions test series, were able to get the win and finish off the series on a high note. And that is exactly what South Africa were able to do. Coming down to the closing moments of this game, it was very intense, that is for sure, but it was just a fantastic way to end, once again, a tour that I did mention on my live stream about. Pretty much, I have to say, like, I know it's the players out on the field who are getting a lot of the praise at the moment, but we've got to talk about the people off the field as well. To be able to have this whole tour take place in a way that they've only had one game postponed, but they didn't have the crowd at Cape Town Stadium for these three test matches, but it was still able to all take place pretty much as gone to plan in terms of how they had it planned out from after not being able to have the crowd. So I have to say a huge congratulations to everyone who was involved in that one. And yeah, we have had some very good games of rugby, including this one. 2 tries in this one. Chisel and Colby able to score the first one for the Springboks in the 55th minute, their only try of the match. And Ken Owens able to score off a rolling maul for the British and Irish Lions in the 18th. But we have got great game, both teams, and the hundreds in the chat from Katie. And that's the thing. I feel like it's one of those ones, like, it was just a great way to finish the series. I don't think, for me, either team, whoever won, it would have just been, because of the fact it was that close, only 3 points the difference. Like, you never want to see a runaway in a final match of a series when it is 1-1. You want to see it go down to the wire. It was nail-biting, and that is why I absolutely love this game of rugby, and I'm glad you guys were along for the ride as well. Looking at some of the stats, though, we will be looking through them for the past, or the next kind of 20 minutes or so. And yeah, hopefully you guys will be able to stick around. But if you do enjoy this live stream, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you thought of the match in the comments below as well. I am keen to hear your opinions there. But 61% of the possession throughout this match going to the British and Irish Lions. And one thing that I noticed after the first half, I believe they had 66%. And it was one of those ones, if they kept on building the way that they were after that first half, it just looked like they were going to be able to get away with the win here. But unfortunately for them, in the end, it just kind of turned around in that second half. A lot of penalties against both sides throughout that second half as well. But the champagne bottles are getting opened at the moment for the trophy presentation for the Springboks here. We have got a new member to the channel as well. Thank you very much for that, Jahardis. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, but I do appreciate that a lot, you becoming a channel member. Anyone else who is wondering what a channel member is, it pretty much means that you get access to exclusive emojis on the channel, just like the ones that you are seeing in the chat from Katie Dixon. And now Gerald Huss will also have the option of being able to use them as well. So thank you very much for becoming a channel member there. But at this stage, also defensively, it's interesting. There were 20 missed tackles by the Springboks in this one. 139 tackles made, though. British and Irish Lions only having to make 58 tackles, and they only missed the 6 of them. So it's interesting with how much defense that the Springboks had to do. They have missed a few tackles, but it never really costs them that much in the end, because of the fact that that world-class defense just shines through every day of the week. We got my nerves was finished in this game. Yeah, as a South African, as yourself as Barry, you would have been on the edge of this. You are South African, aren't you, Barry? I believe you are. But yeah, it's one of those ones, whether you were supporting the British and Irish Lions, whether you were supporting the Springboks, one thing is for sure, and it was this game was going down to the wire. It's exactly what it was in this one as well. But talking about the discipline, 16 penalties against the British and Irish Lions in this game, 13 against the Springboks. I believe there was 6 and 6 going into the second half. So it is pretty interesting, but we saw a couple big ones from the TMO in terms of the decisions. I know that the try of Chisel and Colby, they looked at quite a few times to see whether or not the ball had gone backwards from Jesper Visa when he wasn't quite able to take it there. But we are seeing the celebration from the Springboks there in the background. And it is going to be Andre Pollard making his way up onto the stage there. Presenting the medals is the captain, Sia Khaleesi, and it is just going to be a great moment there for the Springboks as well to be able to win that series at home. And it will certainly brighten the mood in South Africa with the amount of people who will be celebrating that one. But looking through some player stats in this match, I feel like those are the ones that I absolutely love looking at in these circumstances. There weren't really many players who had a huge amount of meters carried. 31 meters carried for Duan van der Merwe. I believe that is the most out of any player for either side in this one. Also, defenders beaten. Robbie Henshaw able to beat 3 defenders with 28 meters carried, but there was an early injury to Dan Biggar originally, and it seemed like maybe that was going to be given Finn Russell a lot of time out there to play the game that he does. He did a couple cross kicks as well, and in the end had a very good day off the boot. But the British and Irish Lions, they were playing aggressively. They were going for the corner a few more times than they have in past matches. But unfortunately, in the end, there was probably one big moment that they could have gone for the 3 points that instead they kicked for the corner. And in the end, it did go the other way. And it was a penalty to the Springboks. But overall, I have to say the British and Irish Lions, they played very well on this tour. I feel like some of those forwards in this game as well, I'm sure when I see the defensive stats for them, like they were making plenty of tackles, that is for sure. And in the end, 10 tackles made by Mara Toje, and also turnovers, one for Tom Curry, also Tyke Furlong. They didn't actually make that many tackles in this game now that I think about it, though. Overall, the British and Irish Lions, 15 tackles made by Lou Diaga, also winning a turnover one. And also Franco Mostert was able to make 12. He had the plaster on his nose. He was putting in a shift out there on the field. That is for sure. All these smiling lads as well, says Katie Dixon. Yeah, it is very awesome for the Springboks here to be able to get this win up against the British and Irish Lions to win the series as well. It seemed like for a while could have been going to a draw. And then if that was the case, I feel like both sides wouldn't have been completely happy with it. But at the end of the day, it is a very unpredictable game, this one that we know and love as a rugby. And now at this stage, we are going to get to see how the Springboks go in the Rugby Championship, taking on the All Blacks, the Wallabies, and also it will be the Pumas, baby Thor, popping corks as well. I believe that is, if I'm not wrong, de Klerk, who of course wasn't able to play this game due to injury, and Bok in the chat from Jermaine, and he will be very happy with this result here. But Faf de Klerk is going to be the man who is popping the cork for this one. They are celebrating with the trophy here, the Springboks, with the series win at home. 3 games at Cape Town Stadium, and all 3 were exciting contests right to the final moment. But yeah, at this stage, we are looking through some other stats. I see other than Lud Diaga for those most tackles of 15. Other than that, I feel like there were still very solid performances for the Springboks throughout, but no one really had those huge numbers that you kind of sometimes expect from watching some of these guys play. Like some of the forwards are just physical units who just go out there on the field and just play their heart out for the full 80 if they can. But Damien Dialende in the midfield, it was interesting. Him and Lucanio Arm only touched the ball once in this match. And the thing that makes that interesting is because of the fact that maybe it was a change in the midfield of the British and Irish Lions. Bundy Aki and Robbie Henshaw was in there. Maybe that was the case of what made it really change around and not really getting that ball to Lucanio Arm as much as they did in the last match, because of the fact he was able to get the try in the last match, Lucanio Arm, but wasn't able to get one here. Makazole Mapimpi only touching the ball once as well out on the wing. Josh Adams, he had a few touches of the ball, but not as many as he would have been hoping for in this one. And it does say, apparently, according to this, Dan Bigger didn't actually touch the ball at all in terms of carrying the ball forward, which is interesting. Sia Khaleesi is so funny as well, says Katie Jackson. But yeah, they are celebrating at the moment here, the box. And that will be a screenshot that is cemented in the minds of everyone, and definitely in the history books as well, for the Springboks to be able to win that tour up against the British and Irish Lions at home. And now it means that next, it'll be 4 years' time. 3 years' time. 4 years' time? 3 years' time. I can't quite remember. I think it's 4 years, if I'm not wrong. It is going to be going to Australia, will be the next British and Irish Lions tour. So it is going to be an interesting one to see how that goes as well. The Quaha Smith had to come out onto the field for a couple different people as the replacement due to injuries. In the end, Etzebeth, not sure whether or not he was able to finish this match, but it says that he didn't actually have any meters carried or any carries, to be fair as well, which I would be relatively surprised with, but it's one of those ones that maybe just didn't get a chance with the ball in hand. Just like Sia Khaleesi only having the one carry as well. At least they pulled it off, unlike the All Blacks as well. Says Sammy Sosa. And also we have got that trophy cup is beautiful. It is a very nice one indeed. And the Springboks, they will be well and truly cherishing that for the next 4 months, or 4 years, I should say, or longer than the next 4 years. They will surely be keeping it around for a long time. Just make sure that they don't break it, because of the fact we have seen in the past, as soon as you get awarded a trophy, some sides, where you're talking about Super Rugby Aotearoa, I believe it was the Crusaders who actually ended up breaking the trophy within about 24 hours of getting it. So we don't want to see that over there as well. Oh, my voice is about to go. It was a wild live stream, that is for sure. The amount of excitement throughout that one. I was hyped up for this match, and I feel like it did deliver overall. Like, it was very close between these two sides. 16 to the Springboks, 19 to the Springboks and 16 to the British and Irish Lions. We have got ref came out recently and admitted that his bad call at the end blew it for the ABs. He said he wrecked the sheds afterwards he wrecked the sheds so bad. He wrecked the sheds afterwards because he felt so bad. And yeah, it's one of those ones. The referees in this competition, or this tour, I guess you could say, have really been questioned. But I feel overall, it's a hard one. The first game, Nick Berry had a shocker. I think everyone admits that. And Rassie Erasmus, of course, really went after him there. Then the second game, Ben O'Keefe overall, I felt did pretty decently. And then in this game, it was the French referee, Marius. I can't remember the last name, but I think overall, the way that they talked through the decisions for the TMO was pretty well done. And it's just one of those ones that luckily, I don't think the refereeing in this one will be the main talking point, which I am extremely happy about because of the fact that it's one of those ones that throughout this tour, we've had a lot of talk about off the field antics and also off the field kind of everything's about the refereeing and also what the coaches are doing. But now, hopefully, this one will be about the players who put their heart and soul out on the line for their sides to be able to try and get this win. It's a close one, but in the end, the British and Irish Lions just a little bit short of it being able to win a series away from home. We have got there. It's definitely telling, given the recent drama around refs being consistent and making bad calls, definitely, mate, as well. And that's not surprising, isn't it? As well, says Sammy Souza, sorry. But yeah, at this stage, I'm surprised my voice is still working at this point of the day. I feel like at this stage, I'm going to be going to bed around 8 a.m. New Zealand time. Ended up having a quick sleep before the game, but overall, might be a little bit tired tomorrow, but we have still got plenty more live streams that are going to be on their way tomorrow and then next week with the Bledisloe Cup, and also maybe a game between the Springboks and the Pumas as well will be taking place. But looking through it, I feel like the kicking game of the Springboks, overall, looking through the stats, you would almost say that they were possibly lucky to win this one, the Springboks. On paper, just looking at the fact that the possession went the way of the British and Irish Lions, they had hardly any meters carried for a few of their players. And it's also the case of they had to make so many tackles. But that is one thing, and that is you can't write off the box because of the fact they will tackle every day of the week and they will keep on getting up, going back and making another tackle if they need to. And we saw that definitely with Luke Diaga making 15 tackles in this game. And Franco Mostert also put in a shift for his side. It's definitely telling, given the recent drama around refs being consistent. I read that one. I've just realized my brain is on a go slow at this moment at 6:30 a.m. New Zealand time. But yeah, nonetheless, I think at this stage, I'm almost getting close to this post-match review being over. I think I will actually probably rewatch the game tomorrow and give more of an in-depth analysis. But this one's kind of been off the top of my head. I've been also now seeing that New Zealand versus Australia highlights are going to be on, which was an interesting game as well. Close one. Only separated by 8 points, that one. But yeah, this one here, 140 tackles almost made by the Boks in this game. And we have got, it's okay, Hamish, you need sleep as well, says Katie Dixon. And also we have got, will definitely be a game full of regret for the Lions. They lost it as opposed to South Africa winning it for me as it was, says Sick Boy. Yeah, turning down 3-pointers was something we've hardly seen from the British and Irish Lions in the Test series. They did it a few times in the lead-up games because of the fact that they were going for the corner. But it's just one of those ones that in this game, there were a couple of those moments that maybe it was time to take on the 3-pointers. It's like where they were going for the corner, trying to go for the win rather than the draw. And that was a big moment because of the fact that that line out didn't go well for them. And the Springboks were able to get the ball back at that stage. And then in the end, it was an 80-minute scrum for the British and Irish Lions. And the Springboks able to win the penalty. Scrum time went the Springboks' way, I would say, overall in this game. The hook just wasn't quite happening. Ken Owens was having a very tough time trying to hook that ball back for the British and Irish Lions, and it was ending up costing them a few times in that scrum, and also the front row just collapsing a couple times more than I would have liked. I love this team so much. Very proud of them as well, says Apple, and also 2025 should be an interesting prospect when the Brits go touring down under. Yeah, them versus Australia is going to be an interesting one because I feel like at this stage, Australia in a little bit of a rebuilding phase. So I feel like if they keep on building towards hopefully that World Cup, and then after that, maybe we will see some very contestable games over there in Oz. But we also got there, congrats Box, and great series, both teams, very entertaining, and it was indeed, even though these games were all on at 4 a.m. New Zealand time, some of them even 6 a.m. earlier on in the competition. I have well and truly loved every minute of it because of the fact that not only I have been able to watch some very good rugby, but I've also been able to chat with you guys while always in the chat for these live streams, and it just makes them that much more fun. And we have got plenty more on the card. So this was our 101st live stream that we did on the channel for a live rugby union game. There are still going to be plenty more to come. I think I just broke my light, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'm going to have to get a new one of those by the looks of it. It's a bit of a shame. Not the way that I wanted to end the tour is breaking my light. So I'm going to have to probably end up buying a new one, unfortunately. But it's going to be worth it. I will end up, purchasing a new one of those. So we are ready to go for our next live streams that are going to be coming up. But at this stage, missed tackles, like I mentioned, 20 tackles missed by the Springboks, but did not cost them too much other than the rolling maul try for the British and Irish Lions, because that's the thing. The Boks at the early stages of the game, I believe it was 6-2 in the end. RIP Light as well, says Katie Dixon. Yeah, 6-2 for penalties conceded early on in the match. And then from there, the Springboks actually turned it around, and it was 16 against the British and Irish Lions, 13 to the Springboks as well. But yeah, there were quite a few penalties throughout this one. But now I think this might be the end of this live stream. I have appreciated every single one of you for being here. If you are new to the channel as well, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. If you have got the ability to and you want access to those emojis, be sure to become a channel member as well. We have got plenty more exclusive content coming for you guys who are those channel members. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. Although we have got Manku, as said, South Africa has done what no nation has done, World Champs Plus, winning Lions Tour twice as well, says Manku. And yeah, that's the thing. Also, like I mentioned at the start of this live stream, 1989 was the last time a side lost the first test match of the British and Irish Lions Tour and went on to win the series. So it's one of those ones, they've not just made history in that regard of being World Champs Plus the Lions Tour winners, they've also been able to make that history. And it is the first time in a very long time, before I was born by about 10 or so years, that a side have been able to win a British and Irish Lions Tour when they have been down after the first match was up, says Henry Samuel. At this stage, I think we are almost coming to the end of this one, Henry, but we are going to be back for the matches for the Bunnings EPC. Hopefully, if it's not both games, it is just going to be Auckland versus Canterbury. But hopefully, we will be able to squeeze in Tasman versus Bay of Plenty as well. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm getting a bit peckish, seeing as it is currently 6:37 a.m. here in New Zealand. Might go have a banana or something along those lines and then head back to bed. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. Hope you did enjoy. And like I mentioned, if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for our next live stream that is going to be taking place later on today.